be a really fun one to work on. This is the quintessential 1932 Ford, man. This is the first of the Model B after that long stretch of Model A's.
Yeah, man. It came with a flathead. This is an updated flathead, but as you can tell, this is how you hot rodded back in the day. A couple Strombergs sitting on it, the Offenheiser hopped up intake and heads, the old clear sort of spark plug wires and so forth. You know, it had some right ideas, but like any project that gets stalled or gets stuffed in the corner, it starts to sort of, you know, fall a piece. Pieces get robbed from it. You can see there's missing inlets and so forth. You have that musky, moldy, old tube sock smell to it.
Yeah, and you know, momentum can be really tough when something crashes and burns on you. The brakes got stopped and you kind of kill that momentum.
Right, and just looking inside, you can tell, man, he had some cool ideas initially when he was getting on the dash, but there's all kinds of wires, some stuff missing. He did get a tilt column in here, but just the overall condition was something that, you know what, he got fatigued, there was, you know, he got tired.
That's
you know,
a
you
lot,
see
man.
cobwebs kind of took over, and it was just stuffed inside the
These
garage.
are big projects. I mean, check out those floor pans.
Yeah,
those are pretty awesome, you know, state of the art, chopped up plywood. So we've got a lot that we're planning on doing on this thing. Fabrication-wise, integrity, going through some of the wiring. We got some switches to go in. So we're going to blow the whole front end of this car off. We've got some new ideas, what the owner wants to do with the front suspension. We're going to bust out saws, some, you know, fire. We're going to throw metal around. We're going to weld some things. So it's all about fabrication today and getting this thing rolling again. All right. Your side ready? Yep. There we go. You got that? Yeah. Now this front grille cover's ready to come off. Slide off. This is the way I like them.
Yeah,
kind of
man.
stripped down and gnarly racy. All right, I got mine lined up right to that spindle center line. How about you?
Same way, right in the middle of the spindle, and you look at the difference in the gap.
Yeah, dude, look at that, man.
You can kind of see it in the cross member too.
Yeah, our shock mounts are crooked relative to the axles. The cross member looks a little bit funny. All right, go ahead and mark yours on that back edge.
You can kind of start to see why this car has been stored for 8-9 years, huh?
Yeah. All right, so we've got our axle center lines marked, and we'll show you why. Now, one thing to keep in mind while we start this project, this car, when it's set on the ground, leaned over pretty hard, even without Willie in it.
Yeah, we were trying to level it out and trying to look at it and see what it was, and then all of a sudden now we're starting to find out why it was sitting so crooked.
Yeah, but you know what? It doesn't really matter, because what we're going to do is cut this whole front end suspension off and replace it with an IFS, independent front suspension from Fat Man. Now the key is we want to get everything square. So we'll show you some of those details, but first let's walk you through some of these bits.
I already see upper and lower control arms, new calipers, rotors, the big K member. It's full set, some spindles.
Yep, we got spindles. We got everything in this kit to put this front end together. And on top of that, we've got a manual rack and pinion, so this thing will drive really nice.
Ton better than this old leaf spring, mono spring setup.
And what's cool about the Fat Man system, I mean, it's a big step up from the Mustang 2s. It's got a lot better geometry. It's a real affordable price. And as you'll see, it's really not that difficult to put on. So let's walk you through some of these details. Now, what we're going to do is we're really going to worry about the squareness of the frame. Make sure you have a nice level surface. We've got things like angle finders. And we'll forget about what the body's doing, and we'll just make sure that the frame rails are trued up, right? And we'll make sure we got the right rake. So we've got our old wheel center, our wheelbase basically, marked. So this reference we'll use later when we install the new front end.
Yeah, we took the wheelbase, cut that in half, and got a really nice rake, about 3% towards the front, because that's what you want in an old school hot rod. That's why it's sitting on jack stands in the front and on the lift in the back to give it just perfect rake.
Yeah, we're right at 0.1, 0.2 degrees. So the front this way is good. We got the back, and like he said, I can take my angle finder and somewhere back here about the center, there we go, about 3 degrees. We've got the right rake, so we're going to have the right stance when we weld everything in, when we get it on the ground, go rolling down the road. So with everything set up just about right, we can just about start to get the confidence built up.
Yeah.
Start cutting things off.
Yeah. And just like that, a few cuts, and she comes right out. You know, you look at this thing, we had the doghouse off in like 10 minutes, 4 or 5 cuts, the whole front end is out. He may want to keep some of that and sell it on eBay. Now we can get in here, clean up some of these cuts, some of these welds I made. Now we can get that Fat Man fabrication system set up in here, squared up, centered up, which is most important. That .1 is a big improvement from what it was.
Yeah, all leaned over to one side.
Yeah. Hey, welcome back, guys. We're still on a 32 Ford, getting everything centered up and squared up. Now, this thing had a serious lean problem. If you remember the Flintstones, where they put the rack of ribs on the car,
Yeah.
it goes, poof, falls over, it kind of looked like that.
Pretty much. So normally, you know, we scribed our center line of wheels up here earlier, and you could go off those when locating your new front cross member. But our car was so crooked and twisted, we're just going to use these as a reference on about wear.
Yeah.
But we're squaring everything up on our own, right in our own little factory right here.
Right. We already done that in the back, the front of the square. Now we're going to do the same sort of thing with our new Fat Man Fab front end right here.
And what's nice is once Willie cut out the cross member, these two sticks are a lot easier to move around.
Yeah.
So on the jacks with some shims, we could get it to settle out in the air. So
Nice.
now all we got to do, you got your paint pen.
Yes, I do.
We will scribe our center line of wheels onto our cross member here.
From that Zert.
Get a good straight eyeball down. That looks good too. Let's see.
All right.
And I'll do the same. Okay, now what we can do is strip all these parts off, get them out of our way, make this thing less bulky. We'll come up here, clean off the paint, and you can see these channels cut into here. They're gonna fit right onto these frame rails. So this guy will sit up in here. We'll get it wedged up, squared up, then
Right.
we're ready to start throwing some fire
Yeah,
around.
gotta love that, man. Good fit too, so let's get peeling this apart and get after it. All right.
I got everything all cleaned off as far as the paint goes, so that means
That was a job itself.
we are all about ready to throw the fire on this thing and weld it in.
All right, looking pretty good here.
Okay, so we'll just cinch that up. You got the angle finder. Now, ooh, look at that. That is zeros.
Wow.
The beeps mean it's zeros.
Come
So
on, that's right there, son.
that is right on. And then we'll check tilt, because what that's going to do is change your caster angle. And if you're within about a degree, you're good. And we're just like 1/10 of a degree off. So
make some
we'll get
slight
this thing
adjustments
settled
there.
in. Now, the only thing we want to do now is a little bit of this. And we're going to go off the back wheels again, so the car doesn't go crabbing sideways down the road.
You seen
Everything
those
is
cars all dog leg
Yeah.
going down the road? They either smash something or didn't get it all straightened out when they put it back
so
together.
we'll take a crooked car, upgrade it to some kind of modern type stuff,
Right.
and make it go straight. Let's get the welders out.
All right.
Start burning some metal. Willie's got some big tacks on this cross member, so we're pretty good, but we're not fully committed yet. So what we can do is mock this up. We can actually take the car, set it down on the ground, you know, not on its own weight, but lower it down, put some wheels on it, mock up a fender, make sure we like where the wheel is in there.
Make sure we like that 3-degree stance and so forth, because when we do commit, we're going all the way around it, underneath it, up above it.
Yeah.
So
It'd be a
it's
pain to
full on.
cut all that back out. So we're gonna go ahead and start getting this thing together, but I'm gonna let Willie take over here in a minute. I got some stuff going on in the interior, some dash work, so why don't you follow me over there? I'll show you what we got going on. Now while we got out the torches and the welders, we're gonna go ahead and add a couple projects in here, one of which is getting this dash kind of the way the owner wants it. Now you can see the style he's gone with. You know, he's got the billet gauge cluster on here. Now, these things are almost brand new, but they just weathered from sitting around. So we can polish those up and make them look good again. So he's got some window switches because he wants to go electrical. And we've got the same style to match. And you can see we've got double switches and we've got single switches. These are from Watson Streetworks. Now what's cool about these, if you look inside, this is a real high quality OEM type switch, but it's a full-on billet, you know, switch panel, so it matches a lot of the stuff that you're going to put in your car. So you got a uniform look throughout. Now we're trying to figure out where to put them. You can put them in the doors, you know, so you got a double on the driver's side, maybe a single on the passenger side. But he kind of wanted to just go with the single double switch. But the passenger can't work it if it's on the door. So start thinking about sliding it down, you know, the dash somewhere, maybe over here, but then this hard to reach from the driver's side. So the owner asked us maybe we could do something, drop down a little bracket in the center here. Well, we had a better idea, on that same theme. But what if we blended in the dash to kind of look like it came that way, tied these two together, and we've got a unique custom look for his ride. So we're gonna pull this dash out, get it on the bench, start doing some cool fab. Let's show you a few tricks. Welcome back. We've got the dash out. It's on the table so we can work on it. You can see it better. Now here's the original gauge cluster. It's a billet design. Once it cleans up, it'll look really good again. Now we've got our brand new billet window switches here from Watson Streetworks, and it'll go really nice together. Now instead of, the owner had asked us maybe we could add a bracket down here, but that's a little bit clumsy. So we thought, well, maybe we'd blend this bracket in. So if you think about it, it's not a flat surface, so maybe if we added, a brake to a bracket, wouldn't quite bolt on. So if we blend it in, it'll look a lot nicer. And what we can do is take the character line of the dash and blend it right into our new part. Then the switches can drop right in. This will all look nice, uniform, and kind of custom. So it'll be kind of neat. Now normally I'd take my paper pattern and I'd transfer it over to a piece of sheet metal. And I'd spend an hour or two getting all the curvature, sanding it out, cutting out the pocket here, but we've got something even cooler. It's the Tracker Pro Table. Now that's a CNC plasma cutter. Now I can go right into drawing this on the machine. So anything I want, I can just draw some lines and some radiuses and bang, I can knock it out. But in this case, I've already put effort into creating some swoopy shapes. So I can put this on a fax scanner like you would maybe copying an old photograph digitally. I can put it in the scanner. It's the exact, ratio of size. I can import it right in, hit enter, and spit out my part. So within about 5 minutes of effort, I've got the actual sheet metal part, and I can go into the program and I can make changes. So I went ahead and added some offsets, so I've got some extra material. So this guy's about ready. I'm gonna take my calipers and I'm gonna scribe a line around here, maybe about a 3/4 of an inch offset. Now that's where the bead's gonna go. And I'll come over to the bead roller and get the process started rolling the beads. Yeah, you see my scribe line here from the caliper. It's really faint, so what I've done is just gone back with a marker, dashed it so I can see it on my bead roller. Now this will be my first step. Slide this guy in, get my lines hooked up, and I can set my pressure between my rollers, and I'll start light and work my way up. I can go through a couple of times. And I'm just gonna roll this sucker through, following my lines, and that'll be my first step towards making this thing match up to the old dash. We got our lower panel already started to blend in, and what we did is we took the bead and there was some flange that was out here. Now you need a little bit of extra material out there trying to bead, but then I cut it off on the bandsaw. So now I can come back and you can see, because we've got this thick edge on it, I can put this guy right up there and I can start running my weld up and metal finish, and this thing will look like it pretty much came with one piece. Now I left a little bit of extra room here so I can put 2 pulls for my headlights, maybe my choke for those Strongbergs, so everything gets tucked in a nice clean spot. This thing's gonna look good when I'm done. Just got a little bit more work to go. Willie's done a great job getting this front end mocked up. We just gotta pack some bearings, throw on our hub rotor combo, and we can put the wheels on, kind of set it down to ride height. Check it out.
Yeah, that's important, man. Now you have independent front suspension. You see this guy working like this, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to that old straight axle and that upside down leaf spring where it was just uncomfortable, shaky, bumpy, and you felt everything. So as soon as we get that ride height adjusted, we'll fill in the welds here on the back side and then come back over here and finish boxing in the frame.
Yeah, we'll throw a little paint on it, then it's final assembly. We're ready to roll. Now, we've got really a goal in this project is to help our buddy kickstart this thing so he gets it to completion, right? He's been dreaming about it for years and years.
Yeah, it's been sitting there for 8, 9 years. Now we gave him a little kick in the butt to get started again. So, guys like United Pacific, they can help you and your hot rod get motivated again as well. Whether it's with floor pans, garnish moldings like this,
you name it. I mean, from new dashes, cross members, the factory front end.
Yeah.
And what's cool is hot rodding is about modifying. That dash that we, modified using that CNC tracker, well, it had already been modified a couple of times, and somebody down the road is going to modify it again.
Yeah.
But what's cool about companies like United Pacific, you can go buy the original dash, you can buy the original front suspension, so you can make the changes to make your hot rod what you want and not feel like it's ruined, right?
No.
You're just changing it, moving it back,
That's true hot rod,
evolution.
man. You make it how you want it.